Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great time, everyone. Hi, this is Queena again, and welcome back for another episode, right? It's episode number 50. Now, let's go over some of the news, right? There's also very important news, which we're going to talk about. Times article actually writes, right, that Bitcoin is the key to freedom, right? And that's towards the end. We'll talk about that a bit more. Let's go over, some other news first for now. Now, first up, Trezor and Ledger respond to security claims. What happened was Trezor and Ledger is the two big cold wallet, right? In terms of device for cold wallet, for cold storage of your cryptocurrency, Trezor and Ledger are definitely the top rated cold storage devices to safeguard your cryptocurrency. And there is an article that basically published by three scientists, basically saying that they have done experiments to actually hack into the device, and they're able to actually compromise the security and able to access the cryptocurrencies that you have. Right now, Trezor and Ledger are very quick, very prompt, right? I want to give them credit. Basically, they are very prompt to actually counteract those kind of claims. Yeah, and this is what they have to say. Let's just read it. Three researchers and engineers have published a presentation from the 35th Chaos Communication Congress revealing claimed vulnerabilities in cryptocurrency hardware wallets. Trezor and Ledger have responded saying, in short, their users' cryptocurrency balances are safe, right? So who are the three engineers? First, you have Dmitry Nedos-Pasov, Thomas Roth, and Josh Dako, created a website called wallet.fail and promised to publish their presentation to the Chaos Communication Congress online after the event. Within 24 hours, the researchers' claims have been published, and two leading hardware wallet makers have responded, which is the Ledger and Trezor. Ledger says, your crypto assets are secure. Now, Ledger has gone all out in response with a blog post saying that although it is happy to see people challenging its security, that they presented three attack paths which could give the impression that critical vulnerabilities were uncovered on Ledger devices, but this is not the case. Despite the researchers saying that they all love cryptocurrency and are cryptocurrency owners themselves, Ledger also seems somewhat disappointed, adding that in the security world, the usual way to proceed is responsible disclosure. We regret that the researchers did not follow the standard security principles outlined in Ledger's bounty program. Ledger also believes that the three researchers did not provide practical vulnerabilities. Firstly, the researchers performed an attack that modified the physical wallet and used malware on the cryptocurrency owner's PC, in combination with a potential attacker in a nearby room needing to remotely enter the hacked PIN and launch the cryptocurrency application. So it is proved to be quite unpractical. Why? Because first, they need access to your hardware, right? Second is they have to put a malware on your PC. And third, they need to be in a room nearby you to basically access, right, using radio waves to see what is your PIN actually. So that's why it is unpractical. Secondly, they tried to perform a supply chain attack by bypassing the MCU check, but they did not succeed. The MCU manages the screen but does not have any access to the PIN nor the seed, which are stored on the secure element. Though Ledger does acknowledge that there's a bug in its firmware update function which allowed the researchers to add software, Ledger says this bug has been solved in the device's next firmware version, and that the bug doesn't allow anything other than a JTAG debug interface. The researchers were unable to access cryptocurrency funds. Lastly, for the Ledger Blue wallet, the researchers measured radio emanations when a PIN was entered, and this tactic could lead to an attacker calculating a user's PIN. Ledger says the post-attack is interesting, but in real conditions would mean the device has remained in the same position as when the dictionary of emanations was recorded, so it's again unlikely. It looks like the Ledger had already been considering such an attack, responding with already implemented a randomized keyboard for the PIN on the Ledger Nano S, and the same improvement is scheduled in the next Ledger Blue firmware update. Trezor, similarly, they have responded by saying, if you have your device, keep using it. Though Trezor appears to be working with the info as it arrives, it's acknowledging a vulnerability but says it is a physical vulnerability that has been identified. An attacker would need physical access to your device, specifically to the board, breaking the device. If you have physical control over your Trezor, you can keep using it, and this vulnerability is not a threat to you. Yeah, so basically, the key is this, I think, when you're using I mean, the thing is as of today, really, the best, most secure form to safeguard your cryptocurrency is really cold storage device, which is Ledger and Trezor are the top recommended one that's used by everyone, Bitcoin enthusiasts and influencers in this space. That's what they use. Apart from the paper, right? Paper, but that is more for really long term storage, and you have to spend all the amounts in that paper wallet if you want to spend those. Yeah. Now, the thing then is this, right? I'm sure the company being Trezor and Ledger, they are so big that I'm sure that they are constantly looking at how to secure their devices, right? After all, they basically can bankrupt if there's a device that basically that people can hack into their device and you know literally compromise the security. Then basically they can literally go bankrupt, because then there will be no demand for their devices, right? But the thing is this, right? Whenever there's a problem, there will be people who come up with solutions to solve those problems. If ever the devices like Ledger and Trezor really get compromised, there will be competitors definitely coming into the space and develop new solutions in terms of cold storage. And definitely there will be so I foresee what happened will be that it is good that you do have people challenging the securities and looking out, and luckily these are good people, so at least the devices that no one is being hacked, no one's so no one's Bitcoin or their main your top tokens are not stolen from your device as of today. So that's really good. Then it is really a blessing, luckily. But the thing is this, I mean, I'm sure this incident will definitely urge Trezor and Ledger to continue, beef up their security even more, right? Because if not, they really will go bankrupt. Because if the thing is there's found one day, and then there will be a new competitor coming into the space to develop much more better and more advanced cold storage solutions, because there's definitely a need for this kind of solutions. Okay, let's move on. Next, Visa acquires Ripple partner Earthport for $250 million. Yeah, credit card giant Visa is acquiring British payments from Earthport for $250.6 million. Earthport is the one that provides cross-border payment services to banks and businesses, and has been partners with Ripple, the blockchain-based payment network, since 2015. Now the thing is then, I mean, they didn't say into the implication what is this, but I think it can be good or bad, right? One is that, right, it can be that Visa is basically looking at vertical integration. So basically it is going to be very hard in the future for them to compete with cryptocurrencies, right? These decentralized cryptocurrencies and companies like XRP, any in the future, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so forth, right? So why don't they, acquire the partner who are actually going to benefit from, XRP and Ripple company, and then you will take the cut. You will basically benefit, because if you acquire them, then you can, have a stake in the future revenue of Ripple that uses Earthport as their partners, right? Because then Ripple is basically using their infrastructure, right? Now, the other thing is this, could Visa be developing their own cryptocurrency as well? I mean, in the future, no one really knows, but if they do, right, they will probably take some time as well. But it'd be interesting to watch what plays out, yeah, because, yeah, the thing is this, if Visa offers that, then what happens to their legacy infrastructure? Does that mean that they will be competing their own, right? So it is very interesting to see what will happen. But I think, though, more likely, my own personal opinion is that I think they're more likely, that they're wanting to ride the wave of cryptocurrency, right? It's better to just, how do I say? It's better to just have that stake in Earthport, and just leveraging, have that stake in the revenue that's generated by all these other cryptocurrencies that's already established, right? Yeah, I think that what happened is they were trying to partner into existing ecosystem of the cryptocurrency. So for example, Visa also partner with another company called mseal.com, which is a debit card which allows, one of the earliest debit card that allows people like you and me to actually use cryptocurrencies to buy daily goods, right? Spend it in restaurants, spend it in McDonald's, Starbucks, anywhere. You have no difference. I think what they're trying to do is then Visa is actually trying to go into the ecosystem and make sure that they have a stake in the future benefits, future revenue of when crypto becomes mainstream, then at least they are already in place in the ecosystem and just take the cut. Yeah. And because also it will be some time before the normal credit card will go away, right? It takes time, so it will slowly fade away. So why not, right? So they will have the best side of both worlds, how I see it. Okay. Next, blockchain company buys Spanish soccer club, cementing crypto sports connection. Dutch crypto company Liberium has announced acquisition of Spanish soccer club LJCF, who are based in the province of Alicante. The move provides another sign that the crypto world's interest in sports sponsorship and partnerships are growing. So what happened is this: Liberium is a new company, right, that basically have their own cryptocurrency token called Libera, and they have acquired this that they're going to buy this Spanish soccer club, right? And um so what happened is then they are going to pay all these their players, their merchants, right, their suppliers, all using their own cryptocurrency called Libra. So basically it is then they're trying to also then make their fans, right, to accept cryptocurrency and to pay via cryptocurrencies. So basically they want to entrench, right, the players or everyone that their peers in this soccer club to use cryptocurrencies. And so they want to two things, right? One is because it's their own cryptocurrency, so they will stand to benefit when the prices increase in value. Second, that they can then also increase adoption, and it gives so I think this is really good because it does give a lot of marketing, right, awareness increase for cryptocurrency, of course specifically for their token as well. But of course when people are used to using their token, then they will be more open to find out what are the major cryptocurrencies out there and what are this new form of payment, right? Yeah, so and of course sports is a very big thing. It is a very universal language among the world, right? Can unify people. Look at football, right, and the World Cup. It literally unify every country around the world, right, on one single passion, one single interest. So if they can how do I say, if they can acquire, or if they can hook the interest of these sports fans, right, and of course the players and the community suppliers, everyone, all the players inside this sports ecosystem, then definitely it can give a big leap in terms of the adoption of cryptocurrencies as well. Yeah. Next, Samsung seeks UK trademark for cryptocurrency wallet. So this is amazing because you have Samsung, which is a huge company in telco, right, and wallet, right? There have been already rumors that they are going to put a wallet into their Galaxy S10, but they haven't confirmed it already. But there are like just all these new developments that forever that says that they are doing something. And the latest one being they filed a patent, right, for their cryptocurrency wallet in UK. Is definitely more likely that they are going to integrate the wallet with their phones, right? After all, HTC, a rival mobile phone company, already integrated a decentralized browser, Brave, on their phone as well. Yeah. Next, we have a very good article in Times, the magazine Times Magazine, right, which is a very kind of a mainstream media, definitely, yeah, by the Chief Strategy Officer Gladstein at the Human Rights Foundation and guest lecturer at the Singularity University. The title is Why Bitcoin Matters for Freedom. So it's definitely great because you have a major person writing about cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, in a mainstream media, and it's on a very positive note, right? Despite all these negative connotation, negative media recently get covered in the mainstream news because we are in such a depressing prices, and it has been down, the Bitcoin price has been down for the whole year, right? Finally we have something different, something very refreshing that says, right, it is a very great tool for freedom. And not only that, right, it is written in a very easy form, and they also offer some very interesting new insights that people don't know what happens into countries which are under the authoritarian regime. Let's go into this, right, because this is really interesting. In the border city of Kolkata, Venezuelan refugees stream into Colombia, searching for food to feed their families. Years of high inflation projected to top 1,000,000% has turned Bolivia, which is their native currency, into scrap paper. More than 3 million Venezuelans have fled since 2014, and 5,500 exit for good each day. According to the UN, the exodus is on the scale of Syria and is now one of the world's worst refugee crises. As Venezuelans escape, they leave with close to nothing, desperate and vulnerable. Because they live under authoritarianism, Venezuelans have no way to reform the policies that have destroyed their economy. They can't hold their rulers accountable through free and fair elections or campaign for change without fear of reprisal. As they stand in long hours lines for rationed groceries and medicine and watch their life savings disappear, it can seem like there are no options. But innovation happens at the edge. Today, Venezuelans are adopting and experimenting Bitcoin to evade hyperinflation and strict financial controls. Speculation, fraud, and greed in the cryptocurrency and blockchain industry have overshadowed the real liberating potential of Satoshi Nakamoto's invention. For people living under the authoritarian governments, Bitcoin can be a valuable financial tool as a censorship-resistant medium of exchange. Take, for example, remittance. After ravaging the domestic economy, the Venezuelan regime is now taking a cut of money coming in from abroad. New laws force Venezuelans to go through local banks for foreign transactions and require banks to disclose information on how individuals get and use their money. According to Alejandro Machado, a cryptocurrency researcher at the Open Money Initiative, a wire transfer from the US can now encounter a fee as high as 56%, as it passes from dollars to bolivias in a process that lasts several weeks. More recently, Venezuelan banks have, under pressure from the government, even prevented clients using foreign IP addresses from accessing their online accounts. So what happened is then, to circumvent this bureaucracy, some Venezuelans have started to receive Bitcoin from their relatives abroad. It's now possible to send a text message to your family asking for Bitcoin and receive it minutes later for a tiny fee. Government censorship isn't possible, and as Bitcoin isn't routed through a bank or third party and instead arrives in your phone wallet in a peer-to-peer way. Then you can moments later sell your new Bitcoin into fiat through a local crate-style exchange or load it into a flash drive and escape Venezuela with a complete control over your savings. A popular alternative, have your family wire money to a bank in Colombia, walk across the border to withdraw, and walk back to Venezuela with cash in hand can take far longer, cost more, and far more dangerous. Yeah. So they basically say, I think I don't need to say about that. So basically, the last paragraph is interesting. Less than 1% of the world's population, no more than 40 million people, have ever used Bitcoin. But according to the Human Rights Foundation, more than 50%, more than half of the world's population lives under an authoritarian regime. If we invest the time and resources to develop user-friendly wallets, more exchanges, better education materials from Bitcoin, it has the potential to make a real difference for the 4 billion people who can't trust their rulers or who can't access the banking system. For them, Bitcoin can be a way out. Now, this is very interesting because what happened is the implications of this news in Times Magazine is already a big thing, because then Times Magazine, right, is one of those definitely more mainstream news that more people read. So definitely it will then give even more marketing, more awareness to Bitcoin and overall cryptocurrencies. Second, it brings to light more problems, of real problems, what exactly happens in places like Venezuela, right? And it actually show people how bad it is that, money can be sent from US, but it will take, almost half the fee. So if you send $200, $100 is gone, basically. It's just in fees. And it can take even several weeks just to reach them, right? But using cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, they can then immediately get it within minutes, and they can now, a lot of the merchants in Venezuela do accept cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin and also many others, right? And also there were news recently, not too long ago, that basically that there are mobile phones that have preloaded with actually cryptocurrencies. I think it was Dash, that basically then people can straight away use that mobile phone and they can access Dash, and then they can pay with Dash and so on, right? So it is quite amazing, yeah. And Dash being, it is a privacy coin, so your identity is basically kept anonymous. Again, this is just one of those things that people don't talk a lot enough, because it is linking basically Bitcoin cryptocurrencies to actually one very fundamental rights of human, which is freedom, which in today's modern world where we have so much technology, human freedom, which is such a basic thing in, free countries like US, Singapore, is still a myth, still an illusion in, a lot of the countries like Venezuela, like, Argentina and so forth. Yeah. So with that said, basically, right, we look at the charts in local Bitcoins. Local Bitcoins is one of the peer-to-peer exchange where, people can buy and sell the cryptocurrencies without giving away their identity. And this is just literally peer-to-peer. So it's between people without any centralized party. And this is actually what they use a lot in places like Argentina. And this is exactly what you can see here if you're looking at the chart, right? So this is in $1 million pesos, Argentina pesos. Basically, from like let's see, just 2 years ago, right? If you look at 2 years ago, the volume of trading volume in this local Bitcoins, which is a peer-to-peer peer-to-peer crypto exchange, is less than $1 million peso. But now is going to be as high as 10 times. So it has gone up by 10 times just over the last 2 years in places like Argentina. But if you look at everywhere, so even China, right? The trading volume, of course, is low now, but it's so much more higher than, like, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it was almost like zero volumes. Then it's like 34 million yuan now. But of course, when it's peaking at when it's peaking at early 2018, the volume was about 170 million, which is about 5 times more than the current volumes. Just imagine that, right? In places like China, despite the government banning it, they still use this kind of decentralized exchange, right? So I said people will find a way. Similarly in India as well. Like 2 years ago, again, it was like what, 5 million rupee. Now they're definitely looking at 70 million. So you're talking about like more than definitely 35 times increase, right, in terms of the volumes, despite this bear market. Yeah. And of course, at its peak, in early 2018, India rupees trading volume is almost at 230 million, which is again 4 times of what it is now. Yeah. So that gives you a sense. So Africa is another country that basically, realized that there are really a lot of benefits to using cryptocurrencies. There, the issue is not hyperinflation, but because a lot of the people are not yet banked, that means they don't have a bank account, unlike a lot of the modern countries. So definitely, countries like this, and don't forget, right, Africa, countries like emerging countries like that, their population are ever increasing, and they have a very young population. So who are going to drive the economic growth in the future is countries like Africa. And they've conducted over 17,000 peer-to-peer trades per day using gift cards. It is very popular there. Although a lot of people don't have banks, so how do they get cryptocurrencies? They use peer-to-peer exchange. The more popular one is called Paxful. It's similar. It's a competitor to localbitcoins.com, but it's called Paxful. And what do they do there? Because they don't have bank accounts, so it's very hard to use bank transfers to pay. So a lot of the sellers accept iTunes gift card at a higher premium. But at least the people who wants to get cryptocurrencies, they can buy the iTunes gift card at any of the shops, right? Very easily available. Supermarkets very easily available, and they can use that then to pay to get cryptocurrencies, which are definitely seen as I guess a form of investments that can give them future increase in values. That's what they believe in, that potential as well. Yeah. So yeah, that just gives you a sense. And I will end it there. But basically, that gives you a sense of the future, right? So I guess in a summary, what happened is that Visa, a big name, right, in the traditional payment industry, is going into the ecosystem of cryptocurrencies because they really see this is too big already. They really need to get a stake to get the revenues in. Yeah. Then you do have Samsung and other big names in the telco industry. Basically, they're integrating with cryptocurrencies. Right? They're doing patents. Why do they want to do that? I mean, definitely, very likely that they are going to incorporate a mobile wallet of cryptocurrencies into their phones, right? Next up, of course, times, right? Linking Bitcoin with freedom is the key to freedom. Basically, that's the summary of it. And, telling people, increasing awareness, right, in the Western world, the modern world, that the dire situation in countries like Venezuela, Argentina, and how do they circumvent and solve these problems using cryptocurrencies, right? It's basically giving a lot of legitimacy and awareness to cryptocurrencies. And lastly, of course, Africa continue to see increased adoption with, right, the latest they have the Pan Africa crypto exchange that was newly created, just launching in December this year. And now, they also use a lot of the decentralized exchange, which is that peer-to-peer, right? So yeah, so that's amazing news. So then I think long term again, right, that just speak to such positive potential of cryptocurrencies, right? But we just need to see when does that translate to price, right? Thank you so much for watching, and wherever you are, I'm hoping you have a great day. And I believe for many of you, you are still on leave, right? Continue to enjoy the holidays before the second Jan, when you're back to work again. Great. Live with passion, live with high energy, and God bless. Thank you.